Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today, let's take a look at 3 things the 49ers must do this offseason in order to be successful going into 2020. My list of the 3 most important things they cannot let slip away going into 2020, starting with their pass rusher, Arik Armstead. Here's the deal. There are plenty of people who will tell you, well, listen, the Niners don't have a lot of cap space. They probably can't keep Arik Armstead. They already have a good defensive line. I think they'll be just fine. Not the case. Now, they might have limited cap space, and they might already have a good defensive line, but in the National Football League, guys, you want to keep as many pass rushers as possible. Like, you do not want to let go of one of your better pass rushers going into 2020. Armstead has proven his worth, says he wants to come back, meaning he might take a discount, and in today's league, the best way to win football games is rushing the passer. I know quarterback and running back and wide receiver get all the headlines, but still, more often than not, teams that go to the Super Bowl, like we did, like the Eagles did a couple of years ago, like the Rams did, like the Patriots, they have good pass rushers. And we don't just have good pass rushers, we have elite pass rushers, and taking one of those away would not fully hinder our pass rush unit useless, because you still have Bosa and Ford and Buckner and all those guys, but taking one away would make it a little bit worse than what it was last year, which, again, go from elite to just great. It's still a drop in the National Football League. The 49ers need to keep Arik Armstead because of, again, what has he done the past couple of years? Let's just go to this last year. 10 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 54 tackles, 18 quarterback hits. The guy, alongside other elite pass rushers, was still getting his. You've got to reward that within your organization. And again, where do you win football games the majority of times? Sunday in the National Football League. You win it in the trenches, O-line, D-line. Do not make your defensive line worse by letting Arik Armstead go. Here's the deal, though. There are some other good pass rushers in free agency, and he's going to try to dip into that pool and maybe get his money. So he's going to be alongside guys like Jadeveon Clowney and Shaq Barrett, and obviously Arik Armstead is thrown in there as well. Yannick is in there as well, the Jaguar pass rusher. He's fantastic. There's a lot of really good pass rushers overall in free agency, so he dips into that, going to try and get his money. But I think as you look at it, he's the perfect fit for San Francisco. They're not going to let him go and then go out and re-sign or go out and sign Jadeveon Clowney or Shaq Barrett. It's either him or they basically don't get anything in return. They don't go re-sign some other pass rusher. They'll just keep what they have. I just don't see the 49ers needing to do that because you mess up this starting 4, which we'll throw on your screen right now. Nick Bosa, Arik Armstead, DeForest Buckner, and Dee Ford. Like, it's as good as it gets. You can get so much pass rushing ability from those 4. I don't want it to sound like I'm coming off as I don't think that Dee Ford or Nick Bosa or Buckner are good. No, they're very good. And our defensive line would still be very, very good without Arik Armstead. But if you were to keep Arik Armstead, you keep your best part of your unit intact for at least one more season, which is one of the reasons why San Francisco was so successful going into the 2019 year. Number 1 on my list of 3 things the Niners must do, re-sign Arik Armstead. That should be the first thing they do on March 18th when the new league year hits. What do you guys think? Quick ad break here on YouTube. Ignore the ad playing. Go down below. Answer the pinned comment. Do the 49ers need Arik Armstead to win in 2020? Let me know in the comment section down below. Moving on to the number 2 thing the 49ers must do this offseason is sign a wide receiver. Now, this kind of is a little play on words because obviously you can just say, well, they just re-sign Emmanuel Sanders. That's what Thomas means. No, what I mean is sign a different wide receiver. I have decided, I've been kind of leaning on this the past couple of weeks, that I am not in favor of re-signing Emmanuel Sanders. I think they need to let Emmanuel Sanders walk in free agency and go look at the other free agent wide receivers or the draft wide receivers and get a newer, younger guy to go ahead and replace Sanders. I know we traded for him, but you get Jalen Hurd back. You have young Deebo Samuel. I would love to see another wide receiver fit into this mix. And here's the deal. Sanders was still really, really good last year. Like, his numbers, 66 catches, 869 yards, 13.2 yards per catch, 5 touchdowns. But the depth chart, to me, if you let Sanders go, means you got to replace him with somebody, because Sanders, obviously, on this depth chart would not be there. You have Samuel, Bourne, Hurd, and I guess Dante Pettis could kind of eke into that spot once Sanders is no longer there. When you have a guy like a Deebo Samuel, who emerged later on in the season, I feel like he's ready to take over and kind of take over the torch for what Emmanuel Sanders was doing for the 49ers week in and week out. Because Sanders, again, you can look at the Samuel versus Sanders stats right here, very, very similar. Right? I mean, very, very similar overall. You got to remember that Deebo Samuel had a slow start to the season because he was a rookie trying to figure things out overall. There are plenty of other options to me that'd be cheaper and make a lot more sense for San Francisco, or at least younger going into the 2020 season. So I would let Emmanuel Sanders go. I would then look towards free agency and see this class. A.J. Green, Amari Cooper, Robby Anderson, Rashad Perryman. I think they would go all in on A.J. Green. If they do let Emmanuel Sanders go, you go all in on A.J. Green because he probably costs similar money, maybe even a little less because of the injuries and the age, but at the same time, I think we can all agree that A.J. Green is a better overall number 1 wide receiver than Emmanuel Sanders. So you could go that route, or you could go a lot cheaper, not cheaper, a lot younger, and get a 26-year-old Robby Anderson who has great deep threat abilities and who could really be the future at wide receiver in the National Football League. He's shown flashes of being really, really good with the Jets and Sam Darnold. Put him on Kyle Shanahan's offense, as you see with a guy like Deebo Samuel, and the three of them, including Jalen Hurd, could be very, very dangerous. So, again, I think number 2 needs to be let Emmanuel Sanders go, but replace him with somebody else. Now, we'll talk about draft wide receivers in a later video, 5 receivers the 49ers could draft, because there are a lot of really good ones, although being at 31 makes it a little bit difficult. But if you want to dip into free agency, these are your options, and I think most of them are better than Emmanuel Sanders, who, for as good as he was, and we showed the stats just a couple of seconds ago, also had some games where it was like, man, like, we really gave up multiple draft picks to go ahead and get this guy, and he caught 3 passes for 19 yards. It just feels time to go ahead, let him walk. He helped you guys out, but let him walk and replace him with somebody better. I know we're going to see comments down below saying A.J. Green is like older or as old as Emmanuel Sanders. That's ridiculous. I still think if he's healthy, which they say he is, he's a better wide receiver at his age and could be a little bit cheaper because of his age than Emmanuel Sanders. I'll let you guys decide, though. Scroll down, answer the question, should the 49ers re-sign Emmanuel Sanders? Type Y down below for yes, type N down below for no. I'm going to read through all of these. I want to know why also. So Y and N, and then let me know why as well. Also, if you guys want to bet on some NBA games or really any sports going on right now, how about our friends at BetDSI? Chatsports.com/bet. Use our promo code 49ers. Get a 120% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. Meaning, put $100 down, turns into 220. You bet on like the Lakers or the Pelicans and Zion or the Clippers or wherever you want to bet on the NBA. Or maybe you go to March Madness. You can win a bunch of money if you bet correctly. All up to you. But we give you guys the tools here. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code 49ers. Again, 120% deposit bonus whenever you sign up and use that promo code. Number 3 on the list of things the 49ers must do this offseason, I think that they have to trade back in the 2020 NFL Draft. They have got to move back and acquire more picks because they only have 6, and none of them are on day 2. No second, no third, no fourth. It's a first, 5, 6, and 7. Like, that's where you are. And, of course, there's like 2 7s and 2 5s. But overall, it is slim pickings in this year's NFL Draft in terms of what the 49ers had. They really need to trade back and get depth, something we've talked about on this show. Now, you can say, Thomas, well, what if Grant Delpit is there at 31? Well, what if he is, right? If Grant Delpit, the safety, who I've fallen in love with, is there at 31, then maybe you stay put and take him. Like, maybe you stay put and take him. But the odds, guys, are not good that Grant Delpit's going to be there at 31. And the Niners have no power to trade up in the first round to get him at like 27 because they have no second, third, and fourth round draft pick. I think as we get closer and closer to the draft, maybe just on draft night, the Niners are going to start to move back and then move back again, acquire some seconds, some thirds, some fourths. That way they can have a little bit more picks than 6 to go ahead and make some moves and get depth, because our biggest problem right now is depth. It's not starters, right? We have our starters, but this is also, a league where you got to constantly turn over positions. People get injured, and depth was a little bit of a problem for San Francisco last year, especially when our depth started getting injured on the defensive line. You've got to replace some of these guys who are going to walk in free agency. You got to make sure that there are studs who are up and coming behind the players in the starting lineups right now. I would move back on the draft as the third thing the 49ers must do this offseason in order to be successful. Have you guys subscribed yet to Chat Sports or to our 49ers page? If you're not subscribed, chatsports.com just go down and click the red subscribe button. That's all you guys do. Go down, click the red subscribe button, help us get to 20,000 subs here on the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Although I want to circle back to 4 teams that could actually trade with the 49ers. I almost forgot to mention this. Here are the teams that I think could move back into the first round. Either they get a wide receiver or a quarterback. The Lions, the Bucks, the Colts, and the Dolphins. Let's focus on the Lions here for a second. The Lions had the number 3 overall pick. They are open to trading it away according to their GM. If they do that, they move back in the draft, but would have the draft capital to come back in and make multiple picks in the first round, which if you're Detroit, basically what you do, you move back a little bit, say to 10, 11, 12, whatever, and let whoever else wants to move up to get Tua. Then you take your wide receiver, or your corner, or your pass rusher, but then you trade back in to 31 via the 49ers pick, and that is where you could get a quarterback, like a Jacob Eason or a Jake Fromm if you wanted a backup in the waiting for Matthew Stafford. Something like that would make sense to me in terms of 4 teams that could go ahead and trade back in. Lions, Bucks, Colts, Dolphins are the ones that I think that could all work because they have multiple draft picks and have a lot of needs, and 31 is going to be open, in my opinion, for the San Francisco 49ers. Before we finish up, You guys want to get a sweet 49ers hat? How about chatsports.com/49hat? Link is in the description box, and they're all authentic, and they're all normally on sale. Like, we're probably flashing them on the screen somewhere around me right now. There are some great hats that you guys should definitely check out, especially go hit the golf course. You want to represent the 49ers. It's hot wherever you're living. Get one of these hats, chatsports.com/49hat. 20 to 30% off in most cases. Just go ahead and click the link in the description. There we go. What do you guys think? 3 moves the Niners must make this offseason. How did I do? Did I get them right? Am I 100% right? Am I 2/3 right? Am I 33% right? Let me know in the comment section down below. I really feel like these are the 3 most important moves the Niners make. A lot of them in-house, right? I mean, re-signing, not re-signing, letting them go. The Niners, with limited cap space, should be busy this offseason, and hopefully they're reloading for another run here in 2020. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.